reinvention. And I love that word reinvention because it's something that, you know, doesn't have any timeline that you can't, you know, it's not, you don't, you're never too old to reinvent yourself. You can constantly be going through this sort of regeneration and reinventing of your life. Does that make sense? Yeah, the reinvention and that creating space for possibility. And I think that this is really important because when you feel overwhelmed and when you have that uncertainty and where you lose your confidence and all those elements, it starts to close the vision down because you're starting to go kind of that way instead of that way where you're opening up, where the vision's becoming bigger and you're starting to go, wow, I can actually see how this is going to fit together. And then that fits into the rewriting of the narratives of the old scripts and changing them to unsticking, you know, get the and this is all patterns behavior, and that's what step two's all about. The patterns of behavior, identifying what's holding you back. Um, and that's um, certainly, again, I can use myself as an example, that constantly conversations with yourself, and they're negative conversations, and they just reaffirm those patterns of behaviors. They're just reaffirming the fact that you've lost your confidence and you're not able to move on, and you're constantly kind of talking to yourself. And that's reaffirming this narrative that's happening all the time. And this is part of a journey that you move through. And resistance as well as here. That because resistance, and you know, that feeds into that brutal self-honesty, rethinking that you can't change. And there have been many times in my life where I've seen myself becoming so resistant, you know, when someone kind of says, oh, well, you've got to do it that way. And I'm kind of like, "Arr!" And I'm like really resisting to the possibility that someone else might have a better way of doing things. And even though that I've been doing things the same for so long, and that's why I've put here that you think that that's part of your personality. And that's how you rationalize it with yourself. And you go, oh, well, you know, it's just part of my personality. I can't